Deuces, my guys. Hello there and welcome. I am Monsieur Chris.
Aye, aye, aye. I am apparently Alpha 5 now.
Yes. And my name's Roy Stolen.
Bagel.
Oh yeah, we're here because there was a new episode of The Mandalorian dropped, and we're here to talk about it.
First,
talk
we got
about
to pick up
things.
though.
Well, pick up? What do you mean? I haven't dropped anything.
Yeah, I know. I said you said that a new episode of The Mandalorian dropped to say, well, we got to pick it up.
Right, it's been fun, yo. We'll catch you next week. And right. But yeah. So your episode of The Mandalorian dropped. We're here to talk about it. I'll give you a quick, as quick as possible, brief rundown, synopsis of said episode. So obviously, by last time, Ahsoka said, "Yo, you got to head to Tython, put Grogu on the stone, and he will call out to a Jedi, and they may answer. Who knows?" So we start off with Mando and the baby in the ship in the Razor Crest, and he's just, you know, basically trying to test Grogu's powers a little bit more, just see if he can become more confident with using them again, because like Ahsoka said, he's like kind of hidden them so people wouldn't find him in a way. And you know, he's getting pretty good. He's using the little ball thing, and they're just playing with that.
Play later.
Yes, and so they're just playing with that, and then they eventually get to Tython. You know, they spot the seeing stone, like it looks a bit like Stonehenge, but kind of basic. But so they see that, but they have to land a bit far away because there isn't enough space to land nearby, which will play into it as well. And so, you know, they land a bit far away. They want, well, actually no. And Amanda makes a joke of, we're gonna have to do this part with the windows down. They use the jetpack. So I was like, that was a fun little joke there. It's pretty good, pretty good. So they fly up. They get to the seeing stone. They're like, oh, is this it? You know, baby. He puts your baby out at the center of it, or little Grogu. It's just like, okay, do your thing. Doesn't really do anything. Mando starts scanning around looking for anything that they might be missing, like, I don't know, like a button or a lever or like something they got to do that's hidden. And then you hear a noise. You hear a noise coming. You're like, ooh, there's a noise coming from the sky. What do you see? Mando looks in the air. The Slave One. That's right. That ship has appeared. Like we're all bloody hoping after seeing Boba in the first episode. You wanted to see the Slave One. That's his iconic ship. There we go. So that touches off down the distance, because obviously, likewise, they obviously couldn't land it by as well. And so Mando's like, right, you stay here, do your thing. I'm gonna go play defensive down the hill. So he runs down the hill, and then obviously, just as Mando leaves, Baby Yoda little Grogu finally gets in touch with the Force and is able to use the stone. And so he does. And then he sends off like some blue, like wave-looking thing. And so he's now using the Force and doing what he does with the stone, which is a thing.
Something.
He does a thing.
Calling out to Force users, apparently.
He makes a ray shield. Yeah, he uses Skype. Force Skype. That's what he does.
No, it's WhatsApp. They encrypted. It's encrypted.
End to end, bro. Nah, man. He was on a Zoom call, innit?
He didn't want Mark Zuckerberg getting on his info. So he's doing that. And as Mando's running down the hill to, like, you know, stop any attacks, there's like a flurry of shots fired at him. So he hides behind a rock, and then you hear a man like Tamura Morrison basically call out to him that, you know,
I've been tracking you, Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's like, I've been tracking you, Mandalorian. And then he basically just like, they have a little, they don't have a standoff, but they kind of just, you know, he's like, I want my armor back, it's mine. Mando doesn't fully believe him.
Mando doesn't quite get that straight away either. He kind of thinks, oh, he wants my armor.
He
wants
wants
I don't want your armor.
like,
I want my armor.
Yeah, because he knows everyone wants his best garb. He's like, nah, I don't want yours. I want mine, which is my father's before me. And then he's just like, yo, if you don't give it over, I've got a sharpshooter that will basically drop someone. He's like, yo, I'm wearing Beskar. He's like, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the kid.
So he's threatening Grogu.
Yeah,
I wonder how many people were pissed off at that one, considering people have literally been pissed off at everything that's against him.
Yeah, he's threatening Grogu's life. And then you look up, oh, and who's the sharpshooter? Fennec, the one from the episode with B-Tech Han Solo.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she survived.
That joyful episode that everyone forgot about.
Yeah.
Although, I do remember when that episode came out, a few people were speculating that it was Boba Fett, and nobody really thought it made any sense.
No.
Which I didn't think it did either, but apparently it does.
Yeah, and so eventually they drop their weapons and they come off peacefully, and Boba and Fennec announced that, you know, they pretty much made up a deal for Mando that if he gives over Boba's armor, they will help defend the child. So I was like, oh, nice. So hopefully that means they're going to hang around. And so it is announced that at the end of that episode, it was Boba that walked up on Fennec being dead on the sands of Tatooine. And yeah, so they're like, right, we've got things to do. He's like, put down your jetpack and we'll negotiate something. So Mando puts down his jetpack, forgets it's there. And also we have to keep in mind that Mando doesn't have his rifle on him, obviously, because he's wearing the jetpack. It would conflict. Makes sense.
As discussed before.
Yes, as we have discussed prior. And then an Imperial dropship lands. But it looks a little bit like the ones you see at the beginning of The Force Awakens. So it looks like they're taking
First Order.
Yeah, like they're taking a bit of inspiration of, like, they're leaning towards the First Order.
The conversion is happening.
Yes, the cursed time. And so yeah, you see that, and that drops those stormtroopers, but they're just getting melted at the doorway, basically.
Yeah, and then Boba Fett's just like, I'm going to use this gaffy stick I picked up.
Yes, I'm going to use the stick.
I'm going to become non-force sensitive Chirrut Imwe without being blind.
He just cracks heads here and there and everywhere.
He literally smashes up the helmets, and I was sitting there like, this is cool, but then I watched it a second time and I was like, how? Because we have seen bigger impacts, like, not from a person and it not break helmets. So I did get a little confused with that.
Yeah, but to be fair, it was pretty damn cool. And so, you know, they're doing that, and then a second dropship lands, because they're getting melted, so they need backup. Fair enough. Fennec, a blast happens near her, and while she's hiding behind a rock, it comes loose. So she just kicks that with a lot of force, a lot of power, speed and power. She kicks that down a hill.
Doesn't make a lot of sense either, considering it's like double her size, and she's pushing that thing over.
She's using them legs.
It makes about as much sense as Resident Evil 5 with the boulder. Those of you who know what I mean, you'll know about roided up Chris Redfield.
Yes. And so, you know, that sends it down. She wipes out a lot of them. They're having a big standoff, and then her and Mando are like sort of surrounded, so he kind of just becomes like the wall of armor to protect her as they're shooting him out. And then while they're doing that, turns out Boba snuck into the Razor Crest. I'd say stolen inverted commas. He basically did. He retrieved it. His armor. He retrieved his armor, flew in, and absolutely wrecked face. And he ended up making the last of the stormtroopers run away, like shit scared.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, but then I got really confused when he started using his knee guns.
Yeah, he did have knee guns. Not knee gunners in The Walking Dead, knee guns, I should have said. I pronounced the
guns on his knees.
Knee guns, like, yes.
That's not going to be the easiest thing to aim.
No.
Like, I mean, Lamar did notice him clench his fist as the shooting was happening, so it would make sense for there to be some sort of trigger. But what?
Sorry. I think Lamar just saw the same thing. A Wookiee just like walked to its death. It just fell down the hole. But yeah, so and then while they're, you know, seeing off the last of the stormtroopers, you hear a blast come from the sky. Off in the distance, there's not like a capital ship, but a cruiser.
A cruiser.
A cruiser in the sky. I'm not sure what class, but a cruiser nonetheless. And bada bing, bada boom. R.I.P. the Razor Crest. That thing gets blown to smithereens. There's no repairing.
That ship has been bullied and now it's gone.
No more Mon Calamaris can't save this one. It's fully gone now. There's literally just little bits of metal left. Like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And while they're like panicking and they're like, oh crap, we've got to get to the child. It's on the stone. Moff Gideon has tracked them obviously with the Razor Crest. He's up in that ship and he sends down some Dark Troopers. Just 4. They fly down like Iron Man. They land in like a I guess like a square formation around the child, like at 4 different points, all equal like corners. And they up there, and that child has since done his force thingies, his force ray shields, and he's like, "Yo, I'm tired. I'm gonna have a nap." He just has a nap.
And it's obviously the worst time possible.
Yeah.
Mando, still forgetting that he has a control on his wrist to control the bloody jetpack to get it back to him.
It's still leaning against the rock.
Decides to run and stop to watch the Dark Troopers coming down, and then carry on moving.
Yeah. At which point, him and Fennec are just at the Seeing Stone thingy, as they're watching the Dark Troopers fly away with little Grogu, and Boba Fett has since got in his Slave One and he's giving chase, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot him down," but Mando's just like, "No, don't do it. We don't want to hurt the kid." So Fennec calls him off to shoot them down. He's just like, "I'll do a loose follow." Follows them up, sees the cruiser, and he's like, "The Empire have returned." And we're like, "Oh no, the Empire have returned. They have the child." And so they're like, "Right, shit, we got things to do." So they land. He comes back down. Mando just has a little bit of a mourning moment with the Razor Crest, or the crater of said Razor Crest, which is now gone. The only thing that survives is the Beskar spear, which
and Grogu's little play ball.
Yeah, the little play ball from the control thing in the cockpit of the ship, that survives. So he keeps that in his pocket. Obviously, Mando didn't have his rifle with him because he's got his jetpack, understandably. We can assume we can assume that's gone. Yeah, that
well, I mean, I hope that somehow Mando's picked up his jetpack off screen and that he doesn't have any... In fact, no. You know what? I hope he didn't pick it up so we don't have stupid ideas like that again. Where he just forgets that he has it. At least now he won't have the possibility of having it, so it doesn't matter. It's not a stupid decision anymore.
Yeah. So, Razor Crest is gone. Presumably the rifle's gone. The whole Razor Crest is gone. All he's got is
most of his ordnance are gone.
Yeah. All he's got is his pistol, his whistling birds, his jetpack if he remembered to pick it up, and that's basically it. So they poodle off in a Slave One, and they go like, "Wow, where can we go? Well, we need some help to get the baby back, the child, little Grogu. Navarro." So we head back there, and we have a meet up with Cara Dune. And he's like,
Marshal Cara Dune.
The Marshal Cara Dune, yes, she's now basically a member of the New Republic as a Marshal of Navarro. So I'm like, that's kind of cool, because of the New Republic pilot that left the little, badge thingy behind for her. And so, yeah, she's like, "Okay, I still want to do things, but, there's certain things I can't do." And he's like, "Yo, can you search up her name in the prison database?" She's like, "Yeah." Mayfeld. So we're going to have Bill Burr return. That's kind of cool.
I mean, I'm just hoping Mando doesn't ask him for advice, because the first thing Bill Burr's going to turn around and say is, "Forget about it. It's over.
It's over." Yeah.
Get yourself a new one. That'll be Bill Burr's advice. Just listen to his podcast. It's all of his advice.
So they're going to... So Cara Dune's like, "Yo, I'm not exactly allowed to..." He's in there for, 50 years for personally breaking someone out of prison and doing things.
And then Mando's like, "They have the child."
Moff Gideon
and
has
she
the kids.
She gives him this death stare, like, "I'm going to rip you in half once this camera is off."
She's in. She's helping. Once you say that, she's on your side.
Mando, you had one job, and that was to look after the kid. And now you've messed that up. You're gonna get beaten up by Gina Carano.
So yeah, obviously,
or Cara Dune.
You can presume Grievous Cargo is going to help as well, unless he's
100%.
died of old age or something.
Unless he actually has to stay on Navarro, which I guess would make sense, but I would hope they've established enough of a system where they can work without the Magistrate for a day or two. I'm hoping they'll bring Bo-Katan in. Now, the only problem I really have is if they bring all of these characters in, they'll continue having the same problem they've already had of not developing the main character too much. Now, they did do a bit of development with Mando at the beginning, with the little heart-to-heart with the child, but at the same time, I want something outside of him being sad for letting the child go, or killing people.
Yes.
Because, I think the perfect team-up would be simply maybe Bo-Katan, Boba, Mando, bitch that's somehow still alive, and maybe Cara Dune, but because she's a marshal, is she really going to be able to be doing that? maybe she can give them information, but as a declarated marshal, she's not really going to be able to help them do those sorts of illegal things. Attacking the Empire, that's one thing, but breaking someone out of a prison, that's a different thing.
I mean, they still got Grievous Cargo and the fish guy.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they don't bring the fish guy back this time, because he's bloody useless in a fight.
He is pretty useless, yeah.
Like, he's funny, don't get me wrong, and he worked well in that episode, but I don't feel like it's somebody that should be in this kind of team-up. I feel like this should be the sort of, like, team-up where you got, like... It's the Mandalorian, so let's have some bloody Mandalorians. Like, the furthest out I would like to see is maybe Ahsoka, but even then... I don't know... I don't know if that would be a good idea, purely based on the fact that she's just going to come in, slice everything up, and then it's just going to be like, no threat. And then I guess she can fight Moff Gideon, but what's Moff Gideon going to do against somebody who's fought Darth Vader, fought Darth Maul, fought Anakin and Obi-Wan when she was merely a child?
Yeah, when she got possessed by the brother.
The son.
The brother, the son, the Holy Spirit.
Now you're thinking of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
They're all just space Jesus, it's fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anakin is literally space Jesus, even though Obi-Wan is Jesus.
But yeah. I mean, at the end of this episode we also see Baby Yoda in his cell.
Yeeting stormtroopers around like no tomorrow.
And I liked that. I liked watching that. And then Stormtrooper's about to stun him, and Gus Fring is like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. See him mess him up some more.
And then Baby Yoda ends up like throwing the Stormtroopers into each other. They collapse onto the floor. And then Gus Fring walks up to him, also known as Moff Gideon. I need to start calling him Moff Gideon. I keep calling him Gus Fring.
Gus Fring.
Moff Fring, there we go.
It's because you have something he wants.
So, no, he has something I want. Fried chicken and lightsabers.
But he fully
That's
like,
what I want.
just before, like, obviously because the child's been using Force abilities, he gets tired, but just before he falls asleep again, Moff Gideon basically flexes the Darksaber to him.
Yeah, he's just like, do you remember one of these from back in the day? He's like, no, not big enough to be playing with these. Now, I feel like maybe there might come a point where they're either going to... The Empire's basically going to have to choose between killing Baby Yoda or...
trying to turn him to the dark side.
Yeah, because if they turn him to the dark side and they take his blood every now and then, it would make sense. Because you've got a willing donor there, ready, and a powerful ally. You kill it, you've got no more blood donor, and, you know, your plan's fucked. Unless they somehow capture Ahsoka.
That ain't happening.
Now, the only reason I could see that being more useful to them than a Baby Yoda is the fact that Baby Yoda's species is a lot less similar to humans, and the Empire likes humans. Therefore, maybe Ahsoka's blood would be more useful to them, but again, I don't think they're going to be able to do fuck all to her.
No, they wouldn't dare. People would flip their shit if they did that.
Oh no, I don't even mean that. I mean as in, the Imperial Remnant does not have the physical capacity to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not beating Ahsoka.
Hell, I mean, the actual Empire got beaten by Care Bears.
True.
Which, that's one of the arguments that some people come up with about Boba Fett being able to smash up their helmets, and whilst I do kind of see the comparison, you never see the helmets get smashed when it's the Ewoks. No. You might see them possibly getting knocked out. They get hit by stones, they get hit by arrows, but a lot of the time the arrows aren't sticking in the plates of armour. Like, there might be a few that I've missed, I don't know, it's been a while. But from what I remember, a lot of it would be in the gaps or in the eye holes, like where the lenses are, where it's glass, which is going to be the weakest part of the armour. Which is why with Mandalorian helmets, the T-visor is very thin. They don't make it too big. Obviously, the middle bit is quite thick, but like the actual main bits around the eyes, it's quite thin actually. But one thing I didn't very much like about this episode is how everything feels very convenient. Like, okay, we get to Tython. We can't land close, we have to go from further away.
Yeah, they got to land far away, because obviously they could just come and go, so... It also gives opportunity to have the Slave One appear and go across screens, same with the Imperial dropships. Same with, obviously, the Razor Crest being blown up, because obviously, you know, it's far away, they can't do anything about that.
So I liked the episode, however, I feel like some points of it were silly. Just silly. I give it an overall 6 out of 10.
Fair enough, fair enough. But Lamar, to be fair, you haven't been given much opportunity to say things. Have you got, you know, things you'd like to say on it?
I mean, it was an okay. I think personally, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was nice to actually have like Mando kind of do something, even if a lot of the time he was just threatening to do stuff, even though he didn't actually do anything. But yeah, I mean, other than like Dion said, it does feel a bit convenient of how like everything's just kind of well timed, like how the ship's too far away, so that way they can conveniently sneak in Boba Fett, and it's just like, well, and it's just like, who like. It's the third door stuff all over again, like, because it was like, who are they actually gonna call? Some people were saying he was gonna call that guy from Jedi Academy. It's like, I don't think so. But
Ghostbusters.
other than, yeah, it's like, who are they gonna call? Customer service, man.
They're gonna call Ray Parker Jr. You know, that's all they're gonna need.
It's called George Lucas. He just shows up in a TIE fighter. But other than that, though, I think the episode was okay.
I mean, yeah, it was a little bit... I didn't think of it when watching it, but after, like, you and Lamar... I mean, sorry, you are Lamar. You and Dion mentioning it, I can understand the points of some of the things feeling like they were just... I guess you say coincidental, like, you know... It just so happened so perfectly, in a way. But... My main gripe was... The episode actually was shorter than most.
Yeah, it felt
like,
really short.
It barely broke the half-hour mark. I said it was, what, 31 minutes or something like that? Like, it was actually quite short. Like, when I saw that, when it ended, because I ended with Moff Gideon asking for one of the stormtroopers to basically put handcuffs on the child when he was asleep in the cell, and being like, you know, let Dr. Pershing know we have the kid, and then Mando going to Cara Dune and be like, yo, help us get this guy out of prison, help us do that. And Moff Gideon has the kid, and she's like, I'm fucking helping. She's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
True. I mean, all we need now is to find out what Grievous Cargo is doing, and then as soon as that we have an formidable team. Because I don't think we're going to get anybody like, you know, like Bo-Katan or Ahsoka. I mean, Ahsoka more likely just because she might have received this call from the Force. But like, Bo-Katan would be a bit of a stretch. I think Bo-Katan's more fan service than actually like a playable character to use.
Potentially. I think the only thing that could possibly be be more likely to get Bo-Katan than Ahsoka would be the fact that it's Moff Gideon, and maybe the fact that it's Boba Fett. That might be a buying chip for Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Being that he's Mandalorian as well, and the fact that Moff Gideon has the Darksaber, and Bo-Katan wants that back for Mandalore. And I think all three of them, Mando, Boba, and Bo-Katan, would all agree that the Darksaber belongs in Mandalorian hands, not in Moff Gideon, so they might all work together on that, maybe. Which I think would be quite cool to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just kind of fell like it fell a bit short on the short end of like episodes, because some episodes feel a lot longer than others. But it's like I felt like they kind of just wrapped a lot of stuff up, like, you know, like what's gonna happen. Like obviously, if the Razor Crest got destroyed before Boba Fett could get his armor back, then it'd be like, oh well, then that goes his armor.
Rip the
and
armor.
like, yeah. And then we got the fucking vibranium spear.
The spear. Oh yeah, the Beskar spear. Yeah, that survived.
But other than that, I mean, this episode was good. Had like a lot of nice stuff to it, but it was a bit short for me. Would like to see a bit more of like Boba Fett and that wasn't as well.
Like because obviously they use the Slave One to go to Navarro, because obviously the Razor Crest was gone. Rip the Razor Crest. R.I.P. It's definitely gonna have a Lego set of that, of destroyed Razor Crest. It's just a pit and some little bits.
Just a pit with like a spear There's some shit in it.
I mean, you'd wonder maybe if there'd be anything on that New Republic database like that Cara Dune can use about Boba Fett or Fennec, because obviously Mayfeld's on there. Obviously, because he's in prison, but he'd be on there anyway. But if either of them two would be on there, and if she'd react at all to seeing Boba or Fennec, potentially. But I do kind of wish it was a bit longer, like any sort of like the begin talks about how to get the child back, and if it ended with like, I know who to contact, and it did a cliffhanger. Oh, is it Bo-Katan? Is it Ahsoka? Is it both of them? Because we know they must still be in contact, those two, because obviously, I think it was at the end of Rebels that was I don't remember if you see Ahsoka meet Bo-Katan in Rebels. They see each other at the end of the Clone Wars. Spoiler, I know you're watching it, but I'm not going to say what happens or whatnot. But yeah, they do see each other in the Clone Wars. But I can't remember about Rebels. But obviously this is after Rebels, because Rebels like leads. It basically ends during Episode 4, but then there's a ending like in the last episode, like an ending like flash forward, if you will, that talks about Return of the Jedi and that.
Yeah.
And obviously this is set after that, so they might still be in contact. I hope they are. So I mean, in theory, you could have all of them roll up. The whole of the Mandalorian, every Mandalorian ever, just rocks up on the scene to fuck up Moff Gideon.
Yeah. Even just that woman from the fucking final episode of the last season, she just shows up with like a whole army of 6 dudes in jetpacks.
Yeah.
Another thing two things I noticed with the jetpack is, considering that he has a button to control it on his like wristwatch, whatever it is, I'm surprised he didn't use it to either A, jump on his back so he can get a boost up the hill, or attach it to Yoda and send him up like down the hill so they could get cut out distance, which was weird. And then
I don't know why he left it behind, just on the rock.
Yeah, he just despawned. Fucking just fucking he ran away from it and just disappeared.
It's like Minecraft living on the floor for too long, it despawns.
Just like gone.
Whoops.
Or the randomly fucking Fennec would just like give commands to Boba Fett, and he's like copy. He's like, what is this? Like I thought it was like a partnership, not I save you now. You know you give me instructions. It's like, what is this?
I mean, I'm excited for the next episode. It should be good. If I feel like they're leading up to, I guess like with last season, like a 2-part finale of episode 7 and 8, of like the beginning of a breakout and then the end of the breakout. Someone, I think, is gonna die. I don't know who. I don't think Boba or Mando.
Yeah, it might be Fennec. Or,
I think Fennec might, or Mayfeld. One of them two will die.
Or Grievous Cargo.
I don't want.
Because I don't think Cara Dune will die though.
Nah, I don't think she will. But Grievous Cargo, yeah, he might do. He might drop. Because he's also quite old.
And he makes. I would assume he makes enough money from this movie, TV show as it is, so he'd be fine.
Speaking of which, also, I know it's not exactly on topic. This made me think. I can't just remember who directed this episode. Off the top of my head, I can't.
I saw it, but like my brain just was like, no. It was like it wasn't Dave Filoni, it was someone else.
Nah, he
might
did
have been
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, it was Dave something or other. I don't know. Just like because they all named Dave. I don't know what is with people in Star Wars named Dave. It's like Dave Filoni, Dave fucking something, or Dave Solkar. It's like what the fuck? Like, give me some other names.
Yeah, when I get a point, I'll Google that. So it's quite funny you mentioned about how we talk about who would appear. Kind of made a joke of like, like the Mandalorian lady in like the Enclave just calls up and like 6 Mandalorians with jetpacks rock up. To be fair, I didn't know this. I googled it. I just googled the cast of the series, and you know, in season 1 when they're in the Enclave in like the smithing area, and then one of the big Mandalorians kind of has a little fight with Mando.
Yeah.
I believe it's him, and then the one who like, as he's escaping, he's like, "This is the way," and he's got like a minigun or something. I believe it's that same one. His name is something Vizsla, and in the Clone Wars, you do when you go to Mandalore or you have dealings with Mandalorians, there's like a Pre-Vizsla who's like a fairly big name in the series. There's Shay Vizsla, who is someone from Legends or from the expanded universe, I think. But yeah, so he's got a link to bigger name ones in like the other series and that. So I found that quite interesting. So I mean, I guess in that respect, whilst it's less likely that they'd appear, it's not completely out of the woods. I'd say. It's a possibility, and you never know. That could be it.
Could be anybody.
I mean, Dion predicted this episode exactly, basically, with the child being kidnapped.
Yeah, because it's the only way to increase the stakes. The problem is, how do they bring the stakes back? Because you can't just be like, oh well, he's going to go rescue him.
Once you've eaten the steaks, they are been eaten.
No forks and no knives.
No. See, I'm gonna Google who directed the episode now, just to get that in. Season 2. Which episode was this? This was episode 6?
Yeah, 6.
6.
Chapter 13, I think it is, or 14, one of the two. Or no, maybe 15.
This episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez, the prolific director whose career stretches from the low-budget El Mariachi. And he did did the 2019 film Alita Battle Angel. I haven't watched that film to be fair, but he did that apparently.
Neither have I.
So, yeah.
Rodriguez is, I think, if I'm thinking of the same, Rodriguez is a good director. But yeah, I mean, for action, it was a great episode. But for storytelling and plot thickening, it did well in some areas. Some areas it didn't. Like the random introduction of the knee gun, which is just
a bit random. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think of the episode? Like what would you rate it? And,
I'd probably give it a 7. I think. It was good. I very much enjoyed the episode. The knee gun and things like that were a little bit weird, and it wasn't like I wasn't expecting it weird, but I didn't know they were a thing. But I mean, hell, maybe they are. Oh, I guess they are now, to be fair, not maybe they are. But yeah, my main gripe was literally just the fact that it just seemed really short. Like the credits came, and I fully had to actually look at the time run and be like, yo, credits have started, and it says it's not even. It literally said 29:40 or something like that. I was just like, yo, it's not even half an hour. This is short. But for its short run time, it was very fast paced. Lots of things were happening. Yeah, but overall it was good. I do think it was a very good episode.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool to see actual something of the Tython Jedi Temple, considering that's what was talked about. And all you see is Stonehenge on the top of a hill, but there's nothing of the actual temple. Obviously, it wouldn't be next door. It'd be like a long old pilgrimage away, but there was just nothing of the temple, which is what people remember from the Old Republic and that. Because I've played one full storyline on that game. Well, not the expansions, but the main storyline, and at least for the beginning of being a Jedi, there was a lot at the Tython Temple. There was nothing in the episode, so that was kind of a bummer. But it's not like the end of the world sort of thing. Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna say the same thing over and over again. I think there's not much to really review in this episode because not much really happened other than it just set the tone for what's gonna happen next. Yeah. But yeah, as you said, I wish we actually got to see the temple that they were talking about instead of them just taking him to fucking self-service desk and just for fucking cash out or some shit. It was the stupidest shit. Oh yeah, just put him on this magic rock and now he has a force field. You can't touch him. Mando went to touch the force field 3 times. What are you doing?
He didn't learn. He can't touch him.
Exactly. Do you need to clean up your helmet? Can you fucking see or some shit? Oh god. And it's why would you leave him? Boba Fett and fucking the other woman would have been fine on their own, but yet he's I need to come and help you with my Beskar armor, so we can have every episode of me getting shot at and nothing happens. So, shot. And it's well now what's he gonna do? He's gonna use that spirited javelin or some shit.
I mean, obviously, it's likely that he's gonna use the Beskar spear as a weapon in itself, maybe to fight Gideon or the Dark Troopers, or something to combat the Darksaber. I think it'd be kind of cool if they did melt it down and turn it into something like for Boba maybe to give him some more armor, or a new weapon, rebuild his rifle, something like that. But who knows?
Or like use it like turn it into like not like gondolas, like individual sticks, so like someone can like use them as like a, I can't think what the weapon's called, like Nightwing when he has those like electric batons,
like Kadashi sticks, whatever they're called.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of
like
the ones from COD, those sorts of things.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're on about. Yeah,
like the Kali, like Kali sticks.
Kali sticks, not Kadashi. What the hell is that?
Yeah, thinking of Big Hero 6, but like, yeah, just like that would be really cool. Or if we got to like a rehash of the fight between Ahsoka and that woman who looked like she was from Mulan.
Oh yeah, old Mulan. Yeah.
That would be cool. Like man, like if that's what we've been waiting for, unless Boba Fett's gonna be the one to do it, which would be like, oh, that's shite. But it's all about who's gonna fight Moff Gideon. That dark saber, which looks like a really long bread knife.
The most deserved people of fighting Moff Gideon would be Bo-Katan, because in what we've seen of Star Wars, like TV series and that, of all the people in this series, she's the one most connected to the Darksaber in terms of like the right to hold it. And also Ahsoka, because she's basically the even though she's not technically a Jedi at this point, she's just like a Force user with lightsabers. She's basically the Jedi of it, and she is in place to fight, and she can definitely hold her own. She trained by bloody Anakin, for Christ's sake. Fought Vader, fought Maul. She can hold her own. She fought old Mulan. Obviously Mando, because it's his series. Boba, I mean, Django, obviously being his dad, has history with the Mandalorians, being like a foundling himself now, and I don't know about Boba. I don't know if he'd be in place to do it. I don't know. Like I say Mayfeld should be the one to do it. Obviously he's the lad here, Mayfeld, big old Mayfeld. Yeah,
that actually, that wouldn't bother me if they did that. It'd be quite funny.
It would be quite funny. Definitely be something I could see Bill Burr doing.
Just like yeah, I mean, out of like all the episodes, I said this would be like the second highest. I'd put it at like a 8 or 7 out of 10.
It's very fair indeed. I'd say.
Wait, Chris.
Out of season 2, and even adding in season 1, I'd say this is in my top 5 favourite episodes.
That's fair.
Because my top ones are with the one with Ahsoka. Then we see Bo-Katan. I'd say even the first one of this season. The last 2 of the last season, they were good. Oh, I don't know anymore. I'm just thinking about all the other episodes. I'm just like, yeah, I like this. Maybe not the frog lady episode. Nothing against the frog lady, but that episode 2 of this season was just kind of, it was okay.
Shite.
Yeah, weaker.
It was a filler episode, realistically.
Pretty much, yeah. I wouldn't say no to watching it again, but it just wasn't as good.
But yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, chewy! So, yeah, we covered it, I guess. Covered it to a good extent. Yeah. So, would you like to do closing?
Yeah, okay. You know, everybody like and subscribe. If not, Boba Fett's gonna come beat you with a shower hose. Yeah, you know, come back next week where we talk about what happens with Mandalore and how the Darksaber's probably uses a toilet brush and it's when it's not on camera. Right, same bat time, same bat channel. Fuck off.